Good morning, good friends, and a gracious welcome as we gather this morning as the congregation of Grace Presbyterian Church to worship and to celebrate God. We are pleased that today is a special service honoring and receiving our confirmands for this year, and we look forward to doing that in our worship service today. We are grateful that you are worshiping with us from near and far, making our worship a part of your day and making your voice and your prayers a part of our worship. Thank you for joining with us. There is one announcement that I need to share with you today. In January, when we found ourselves with a sudden vacancy in our church musician and accompanist position, we made one and only one phone call, which was to Sean Cater. And we asked Sean if he would be willing to serve in the capacity of interim musician from January until May. And then a pandemic ensued. And at the end of May, we turned to Sean and said, Sean, would you continue as our interim musician in order that we can continue to bring the kind of worship that we have been privileged to bring at Grace Presbyterian Church? It is now September, and we have one more thing to ask of Sean, which is, Sean, may we remove the interim title from your position by the unanimous consent of our personnel committee in our session. I'm rejoicing today to share that Sean has said that he will happily assume the position of musician and accompanist full-time at Grace, and I invite you to fill your news feed and comments with huzzahs and woo-hoots.
Amen. And as Pastor Ben mentioned, we are especially grateful today not only to welcome Sean, but also to celebrate our confirmation class of 2019-2020, whose confirmation worship service was also delayed due to the pandemic. You'll see later on in the service, we'll be sharing the outdoor small family service that we were able to hold for the confirmands yesterday, and you will get to participate in that as we stream it. I did want to also just draw your attention, in your e-news there was an attachment including the confirmand's statements of faith, and so they will be sharing those aloud, but if you'd like to read them as well, you can find that in your e-news. One more thing about the confirmation, and that is a huge, huge thank you to all of our AV team, but especially to John Machado, who spent more hours than he will admit to me making this video from yesterday ready to share with all of us this morning. And we are so grateful to all that John has done throughout these past months, but especially for the extra labor of love yesterday. And so thank you, John, so much. You can add more huzzahs in the comments for that as well. This is the last week of our crop table and our summer sprint to raise money for hunger here at Grace. So if you have been wanting to pick up some jam or maybe a few of the fresh produce items that are still available, you can swing by the tower entrance for no contact pickup sometime this week or leave donations in the basket.